and welcome back to A Time Adrift. We are again so happy to have you with us this lovely day. Episode 5 now. Wild. We've come a long way. We've gotten to Ishgard. That's about it. But maybe today we will be moving on a bit.
That was a whole expansion in the original game. That's
I
pretty
know.
far.
I know.
Yeah.
But once again, we're going to be joining our heroes on their epic adventures. But before that, though, I did want to get into a small detail. So we didn't cover this last time they leveled up, but this time, everyone here has leveled up. It's very exciting. We are all now level 3 as our players and their characters grow in power and experience. So I wanted to do a very quick rundown of what they will be doing when they level up. And then they can kind of mess with that while I am talking, and I'm sure everything will go fine. So, our players will receive 3 attribute points. In Valor, you have 5 attributes: Strength, Agility, Mind, Spirit, and Guts. Characters will generally specialize in 2 to 3 of those. 3 of our characters have decided to specialize in 3 attributes, which makes this very easy for them. Those attributes are always the ones they increase by 1 point every level. And then 2 of our players are leveling up 2 attributes to maximum, but also can kind of play around with that extra point, which can bolster some of their stats in other areas. So our players will be kind of increasing in their stat values every level that they increase, which is very fun. It is always exciting to see numbers go up, and we make sure to provide that fantasy in full. Additionally, they also gain 6 skill points, so they can purchase a new skill of their choice. They might choose to bolster their health or their offensive capabilities. I know some players were looking at like aura skills that are special content from our Tools of the Trade alpha, which lets them generate an aura around themselves to bolster their allies who stand next to them. So a lot of options there. We have a lot of cool skills to choose from that can really suit their builds. And then they will all gain 4 technique points, which technique points they can use to increase the power of their techniques. They can use to build new techniques entirely if they want. And the maximum level of their technique increases by 1 every level. So the higher level they get, the more complex and interesting they can build techniques. So for example, Nakhira has an ability where she can shoot a breath of flame, and she might choose to make that longer. Or Copycat might become better at mimicking things, so that Copycat can copy really high-level techniques. Or possibly just hit harder when he juggles at people. So a lot of fun options for them. I'm super excited to see what they're going to do as they evolve their techniques, and in some cases even make new special abilities that you might see today, or possibly even, in a few weeks. We'll see how far we get today. But beyond that, as you may recall, last time you guys all fought a horrific monster summoned from a Zodiac aura site. And as the monster has collapsed and just kind of dissolved into ether, it left behind not a body, but instead a red stone, upon which is etched a Zodiac symbol. Those of you who have Spirit Sight or similar Ether Sight abilities can tell that even with the monster gone, this stone is emanating powerful magic. And most of the Ishgardian soldiers had withdrawn to a safe distance, but they are watching to see what's going to happen as everyone watches the stone warily. So what are you guys going to do?
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, please don't touch that thing. There's something wrong with it. That stone. And I can see it's strange. There's something wrong with it.
It was not the first thing on my mind, let me tell you that, but now that you have confirmed not to touch the icky guy's leftover bits, I definitely won't.
Yes, you saw it. It was the strange, angry old man who grabbed the stone and then shook it like a Moroccan, then turned into a not as authentic version of himself.
Or
Could be
perhaps
more.
more authentic version
Hey.
of himself.
Evil does find its true form. I think he peaked. Yeah.
Certainly stunk.
It was not good, no. Sal kind of just like nods emphatically.
Temis, do you know anything about the stone's makeup? Or if we could
okay.
transport it safely.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Oh, okay. She'll look at how I'll. And she's gonna take a deep breath. Okay, I'll have a look. And I'll tentatively walk towards it.
Okay.
And I will. What can I see?
The stone is inert, but if you would like, you may make a mystic arts roll to see if you can discern anything. That's going to be an intuition or an aura.
Be careful,
I
Temis.
She looks. Her little hands are shaking. She's like quite scared. This has been a big day again. So you know, she might need her little sick bag.
Oh, 16. That is
Nice.
very respectable. So, as you reach out... Yeah, okay. Your head starts to hurt.
Oh,
Hooray.
awesome.
You see visions of this stone. You're not quite sure its origin, but you see a shadowy figure floating amongst the sea of stars. And you see the figure slamming into the surface of Heidelin. And the stones scattering across the land, where they lay buried for a while. You feel as if you're trying to peer into the history of these items, but it's so inscrutable that it defies comprehension. But also you do sense a power within these stones. And you don't necessarily sense malice. It's just power. A power that could perhaps be shaped or twisted by the fervent desires of the wielder. You do also discern that they could safely be carried, but in times of great stress or strain, or in the presence of fervent desire, they might ignite once more, and it's impossible to discern what shape that might take. You also get a sense that a large steel box might be appropriate if you wanted to contain it. Or perhaps mithril or adamant if you can get your hands on it. It is doable, but containment would be somewhat challenging. The point seems to be to sever it from the desires and ether of people around it so it can't respond to it.
So you're gonna see Temis kind of like sway and grab her head, and she kind of like drops down to one knee, and she's kind of like crooked over, and she's there for a moment or two, and you guys will recognize what's happening, and then she's gonna like blink several times and come up and go, that I wish I understood these visions more. I'm going to try and explain it, but when we were back at the house before, I could see the history of the house somehow. The people, the art of the place kind of struck me with a chord. It was like music in my head, and I could see this house fighting for the people, fighting for everybody for so long. But this thing it's old, like I've never...
Like 60?
Like, time is so long.
Hey,
What, hon?
Like 60?
No.
Hal takes offense to that a little bit.
Copycat chuckles. That was really funny.
Oh, gosh. It's like older than the civilization we have here.
Oh, like
Old.
eras old. Like very old.
Like
ancient
like-
old.
Like, yeah, the first thing I saw was it was almost like it was suspended in the sky, in an ocean of stars, and there was a figure, and then it hit our star and shattered, and the fragments seemed to just disperse, and then so much time and passing, and I don't have the capacity to. But look, I'm a botanist, and you may think that doesn't have much to do with aether, but everything on our world runs on aether, and I can see that this thing it's kind of, it wants to reach out. Some plants, like, you look out at nature and you see bliss and tranquility, but it's warfare in the ground. It is chemical warfare, it is etheric warfare, as the plants are fighting for survival. It's a constant battle. And this thing's aura is like an invasive plant. It's going to affect the plants around it. It wants to reach out and touch and affect. I mean, I think in the presence of great desire, like what you, Nakhira, like the monster that we met, the monster that he became, he had all that passion. I think that there's a connection there, and yeah, this needs to be contained. Like, how do you contain magical things, Hal?
We could physically we should never touch it. Power without context is a trap no matter what.
But if what Temis is saying is true, if desire, great desire, plays into it, then yes, what I felt from the man, what I saw, it was not history like you seem to see, Temis. It was his desire for a future, for return to the order that he felt had brought about the answers to the many questions and insecurities of his life. Listen, not everyone is just evil, but the man definitely did not respond well to his childhood trauma.
Asshole.
Yes. Still,
I can relate to that.
it seems as though he manifested it through the stone. So if we are to transport it into something to keep it from others, then perhaps just someone who feels like they don't have that same passion drive right now?
Who is the least passionate person we know?
I'm gonna look at Hal.
Hal is closing his eyes and just going, it's coming, isn't it? Yeah.
I have a question. If it came from the stars, would maybe like a dragon who also came from the stars know what it is?
Perhaps.
I mean, yeah.
Dragons are old.
Midgard Sommer.
Very old.
I mean, he literally carried his brood across the sea of stars, right?
Theoretically, right? That's what they say.
Is there a chance, Liana, that... Alright, so... Like, a couple of us have some evolution origins. Is this is this something that, like, we would recognize as such? Or is it something that in the scheme of time largely is not discussed?
Those who have origin in Dalmasca may make a knowledge roll for some old stories.
I love old stories.
Origin or who have spent enough time in. And I'll go ahead and give you a +2, Guffin.
What am I rolling?
I will say, while they're rolling, I'll say, but the funny thing is
Intuition.
that
Aura.
he wasn't evil. This isn't evil. This isn't an evil thing. Like, I know parasites in nature, right? I can sense a parasite, something that just saps from the system and is pernicious. This is not necessarily evil. It's not pernicious. It's just, It's almost like an amplifier.
So, Nakhira, you may recall the story of the Zodiac Braves. Guffin, you do too. Just imagine you've forgotten a lot of these details.
That should be an 11. I did not add any sort of...
Yeah, I'm adding your 11 for you. But Nakhira got a 15. Hal, you got nothing. I'm sorry,
Not
but
as important as the
Yeah.
history of the star, you know?
a roll of 1, total of 8. Yeah, that ain't happening. Nakhira, so you recall stories in kind of the tales of Ivalice, the ancient lands upon which theoretically Dalmasca now sits. In these stories, the Zodiac Braves were so named because they wielded holy stones etched with each of the Zodiac symbols, and these stones gave them great power, which they used to overthrow the corrupt monarch and bring about kind of the era of the church at the time, then known as the Glabados Church, but has long since fallen by the wayside of history. They united behind a man known as Saint Ajora, who led these braves into battle, and these holy stones gave them power like unto gods.
Okay. I think Nakhira, like, as they're talking and as, you know, they've gotten more into it, has kind of stepped up next to Temis and kind of crouches down, like an elbow perched on one knee, and her tail sort of swings behind her, lifting so it doesn't go into the dirt, you know, she's careful about that. But as she kind of squints at the rock, one of her ears kind of flicks back, and she goes, huh. I never thought a children's tale would come back to haunt me as an adult. This looks like... My mother had this book. We didn't have much. There wasn't much left after the Black Rose, and after many had been, enslaved by Garlemald. But she would tell us stories from the home, from the lands we came from. And there were these tales of the Zodiac Braves, this desire made manifest for righteousness. I guess they could be made manifest for anything. Humankind has its own way of doing that. But this could be one of the stones that they used? Why it would be here, I don't know. And now, she kind of, she pulls out, like, a small little, like, fork from, like, her waist, and then kind of pokes at it, and, looks at the sigil.
And the stone's mostly inert. The sigil is that of the Scorpio Zodiac. It's a very clear symbol, since these Zodiac symbols are used even in present day. So it is a very clear... it's kind of it's like an M on its side with some arrows coming out of it, is the best way I could describe it. But it's a red stone, and it kind of glints in the Ishgardian sort of sunlight. I mean, it's a bit of a
Gray
cloudy
light.
kingdom, but daylight does
Overcast.
occur.
Daylight occurs, kinda.
There's the sun.
Yeah.
Temis is going to turn to Nakhira and go, do you have... Can I borrow your tongs? And do you have a pot with a lid on it that I can...
Oh,
in your kit?
of course. What do you take me for? And she'll gesture to Sal, and Sal will come over, the stuff on his side's kind of clanking, and she'll take, like, a little pot off of the side and pass it over.
I could probably
And she's
just
gonna,
pick
and
it
Temis is
up.
going to show it to Hal. Do you think this would do?
I think
Sorry.
so. Oh, go ahead. Oh, okay. Hal says, I think so. We could always layer magical protection on top. If I can be allowed to put a barrier around something small.
You may try. I will let you make a Mystic Arts roll. I thought he was asking the rest of you for permission. I apologize.
No problem.
Do I have your permission?
So
Hal
I
is
do have
very polite.
proficiency.
He's a good boy.
I do have proficiency in aetherology.
In etherology, I'll
Yes.
allow for that. So that'll be a 14 total, I think. Okay. So,
Or to even know if I need to.
are you casting or are you analyzing?
So it was asked if that would be enough to contain it. So I just want to know if it is, and if it isn't, do I think that I could contain it?
You have this kind of concern building in the pit of your stomach that it might, if you were to cast your personal ether upon it, it might respond to it, and you're not quite sure how that would go.
All right. Then what I'll say is, from what I can tell, we should not use aether around it. We should keep it in this vessel, and we should transport it close, but not too close. If it reacts to what we want, the question isn't whether it's dangerous, it's whether we are.
I don't know if.
And I'm gonna hand him the tongs. Sorry, you put it in because I am just very nervous, and I'm gonna step away.
I could do
Absolutely,
it.
I'll do it.
My arm's not real.
I
Heather
prefer
waves
to
his pretend
watch.
arm around.
Hal thinks about it for a moment. Yeah, I think that's safe. So, Guffin, if you'd like to.
I guess that was the wrong arm. Left arm. So he flits over and takes the tongs, of course. He doesn't necessarily want to touch it directly, but still buffer of pretend artificial arm between the crystal and himself. Picks it up, tongs, flits back over, kind of carefully. Not his necessarily normal upbeat bopping around, but kind of like tiptoe in the air type motion almost. Back over to the pot that presumably is being held open. Before he lets it fall into the pot, he says very seriously,
Now, Nakhira, you might lose this pot forever. Is that alright?
I mean, we did get paid, so I could recompense it. It was a good pot, though. It seasoned very well.
If you're sure.
Fine. It's better that than we all die.
I agree. Very good.
he drops the crystal in and just for good measure throws the tongs in too, since they've touched the thing as well.
Nakhira looks up as they seal the stone and kind of looks over the battlefield. And her face kind of gets drawn, this kind of closed look, and she says, I thought it was bad when the church simply fought back or tried to hold the power they had seized. It was long, brutal. But if they had had something like this then, this man, he was fervent, yes, he believed, yes. But the destruction, if we were not here, it would have been much worse than what happened to any of the people I knew growing up.
Do you think so?
I would say I know so, but I did not live it, so I suppose I don't. But we would not have been able to sustain this without this blessing we received. And if
That's true.
desire can be
thinking-
manifest. Oh?
There's probably really strong people here in Ishgard too, right? But you did mention that blessing that I've completely forgotten about until this moment, so that might have helped.
That's alright. We're all adjusting, How did we know we would be safe? I don't know. Magical blessing, I suppose. It's gonna take some time for us all to reconcile this new reality, I suppose. Just that, as I knew then that we could withstand it, I know as well that others could not. Primals, we haven't seen them as such for a long time, but they were once spoken of with great fear.
Do you think it's the
I don't
same sort of thing?
The methodology seems similar.
What do they
Invoke
call
you,
them
Crystal.
people? That group that fought the primals? What do they call?
The Warriors of Light?
No, the other ones. The ones that didn't do as much fighting. Scions! Yeah, that was them, right? That's a pretty good name. I like that one.
I like the science.
Seems a little less death happens to them, but that might be just perception.
Shorter, rolls off the tongue. Scion.
I don't believe there's anyone in Charlian who can disagree with us giving us ourselves that title.
Maybe with a second Scions.
Ooh.
We can keep workshopping it. Either way, that thing is sealed. There's not a huge wave of death retaking the lands around Ishgard, and
Hold on.
hopefully...
What about scions of light? Just push them together.
No?
What
Don't
should
like
we
that
do
one?
with this rock?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Well, I don't trust anyone in Ishgard to be devoid of desire, especially now. Unfortunately, I think it must come with us.
You know who I think should carry it? And I walk over and I pat Sal's side. And I'm just like, look at this happy, strapping young individual. Who could want for naught? He's got a heart of the purest, highest degree, greatest caliber of selflessness and valor. Ain't that right?
Sal
know
seems
that?
extremely pleased by this. He kind of puffs himself up. He's making little agreeable noises along with it, but then Nakhira just like charges over and goes, no. She grabs it and he goes, he has huge dreams. What are you talking about? I've never met a creature more passionate. Sal cannot hold this. I don't know. I will carry it for now. I
We need a
believe I can keep
Lalafell.
myself.
Perhaps we should just trade off, or like if anyone's having like a low day, that might be like prime rock carrying candidate. We'll figure it out.
That's fair.
Make sure to bind it as well. Bind that lid on. We don't want it accidentally falling off.
Yeah.
I think I
I
got
will
an extra
say
bag.
when you do lid it, you feel it significantly less. So that the physical barrier does seem to help quite a
It's
bit.
like kind of radiation. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome.
Hold on. Let me look. See if I have an extra bag. Just wrap that up in the bag. I think it's a good idea to trade it off, though, if it's that dangerous.
We can rotate it. We can make sure, keep an eye on it. But I am reminded of our allies, and Nakhira looks around for who else has come up. Have they returned?
Gratienne and company are kind of keeping a respectful distance, but some of the soldiers of Fort Tomp and some of the other kind of resistance fighters in the area are slowly making their way in.
Hey! It's alright now.
Gratienne comes jogging up with Al and Estrel beside him. It's like, brave heroes, warriors of light. Once again, you have saved Ishgard, much as your forebears. House Fort Tomp shall sing of your accomplishments this day. It will be heard throughout the lands of Eorzea. He is very excited.
Hold on. We're gonna get a song about us. That's so cool.
If you desire it, you shall have 10.
Oh, that's
but-
overkill. I'm happy with
I
one.
insist on reviewing them for accuracy.
Of course, of course.
Hell yeah.
But, is the evil defeated? Is everything good? Are we okay to clean up the mess? He kind of gestures at all the corpses on the ground.
I think so.
Yeah, trust thine eyes. Do you see evil before you, or triumphant valor?
Yes, we
He
killed
does
them.
laugh a bit at
Yeah,
that.
they're dead. Yeah,
They're dead. We did kill
I
them.
can't help it. It's just in me.
No, it's good. I like the flourish. It makes it feel more dramatic. But we did stop them. Now, as to the evil itself, clearly there are deeper sentiments that gave rise to this. It's something that you will have to continue to deal with.
Ishgard is prepared to continue our fight even in the shadows. I have received word a runner from House Helionart has appeared. Vespasian would very much like to speak with you, if at all possible. He asks that you meet him at the manor. I will direct cleanup and join you shortly.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
but
gonna
be
look at him and say,
careful.
if you see any
course.
weird
I'm
rocks,
I'm gonna look at him.
don't pick them up.
Very well. No weird rocks. Got it.
What are you saying,
What does
Temis?
a weird rock look like?
Well,
You'll know it
small,
when you see it.
warm, strange runes on them. That would be. I would say also that because your brother cousin was here, you might want to search the ruins quite carefully. If this was their hideout, you might find a wealth of information about their shenanigans in the city.
Oh yeah, evidence.
Very well.
God, Temis,
so
you're
he
so
kind of-
smart.
He kind of gives the order. The soldiers in the area are gonna, and the rebel, well, no longer rebel, the triumphant revolutionary people's army is gonna kind of sweep the area. And you were given directions to the House Helionart Manor, which, if you will recall, Vespasian was not letting you come into due to his own home's need to maintain standing and all of the funny business with the Iron City remaining neutral. So this is a step up, if nothing else.
I
We
guess
go.
the Snoop Patoot
Yes.
thought that we did a good job.
Apparently so.
Or the optics are better.
So you
Temis
are
is kind of
actually
like she
Oh,
puffed
sorry.
up. She puffed up when you said that you thought she was clever. She's like, oh, she did not get a lot of positive reinforcement in her childhood.
Aw.
So this is a moment for her. She's like, oh my goodness.
Isn't her mother the one who bit someone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, when that's your mom, you know? Oh, good thing Temis doesn't have the childhood trauma revenge drive.
Don't give me the stone.
So you make your way over, and kind of as you reach the manor, you see another party arriving as El Tol arrives with a few of the Iron City guards from your caravan.
Perfect.
And she seems quite delighted in the way of dragons as she greets you with the little Omega kind of perched on her shoulder. I heard the news. Wonderfully done. It seems we've been given access to the city. That camp of theirs is a bit cramped for my liking, so this suits my taste much better. And kind of as she greets you, the butler for House Helionart kind of guides you in through the manor. A comfortable cushion has of course been prepared for El Tol, and seating for the rest of you as you are led into a opulent antechamber with very fine snacks and teas set before you, and coffee, of course. As you are bid wait for the Lord of the House. Which you can either wait for, or if you would like, you can talk to El Tol again a bit.
Hey, Altol,
Yes.
do you know much about rocks from the stars, by the way?
Yes, actually. The
Hell
Warrior of
yeah.
Light recovered some from the Dalmascan campaign shortly before the release of Black Rose.
Oh.
It is said that they contain the power to transform desires and make them monstrous.
Guffin is like
like-
turning in a full ass circle, pointing at everybody else in the room, like, it's the thing, it's the thing.
Hal just says, I really don't like how many myths are becoming reality.
And
True that.
if we were to have found something very similar, perhaps exactly like the thing that you have just described to us, what should be done with that?
El Toro gives you a look and says, "Present it before me." Very matter-of-factly.
Nakhira slings the pot up on, I don't know, a nearby table.
Yeah.
And says,
Ta-da.
it's in here. And opens the lid.
Remove the lid.
Yeah, Hal unconsciously kind of shields the pot from the rest of the room. Just like, nobody look in
Temis
here.
activates her vision, her spirit sight again, just in case.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. So, about as Temis activates her spirit sight, Elto, having beheld the stone, raises her head and emits an enormous roar, which to Temis looks nigh blinding in the etheric density of it. So you are flashbanged for a bit. And that roar is answered by a burst of ether as a tiny dragonette appears before you. A tiny dragonette that seems to carry the weight of a much older and larger dragon, as Midgard Stormare projects a small presence into the room.
Sup?
Go ahead.
I just said sup.
Oh, okay. Midgard Stormare looks at the stone and kind of rumbles, I sense that this too has come from beyond the stars. I recognize its potency, long though it has been. I shall hold these for you. I don't believe that their presence would benefit your quest. The stone kind of levitates out of the pot and moves towards the dragonette. Continue the excellent work, Warriors of Light. We shall meet anon. And then they both vanish.
It's for the best, and I get up and go help myself to this bread. That's
The pot, though, does not appear to be holding a lot of lingering ether, so that's good at least.
Nakhira, kind of holds it up towards Temis, but realizes that I'm assuming Temis is, is Temis blinking?
Temis got flashbangs, so she's probably out of commission for a few seconds.
Then Nakhira immediately rotates it to Hal and goes, "Does it seem alright? Can I cook in it?"
Looks over at Temis. Oh. I would say so.
Hang on. I don't know what she did, but when she shouted, there was just nothing but white light, and I think she burnt my etheric retinas. Hang on a second. I'm gonna blink. How long does it take me to recover?
About a minute.
Okay. Give me a sec, and I'll get a. Can someone pass me a drink? Because I can't actually see either.
Sure. The copycat passes her a drink and also kind of waves a hand in front of her eyes and makes hand puppets. She can.
And the cat on her shoulders is trying to get your fingers. Okay. Can I look at it? Do I need to roll to see if it's acceptable for food?
No, you see it. You see faint vestiges of ether just because there was so much, but they're already dissolving. So
Yeah. I think maybe give it a day or two and it'll be absolutely fine, just inert again.
It's just additional seasoning.
Yeah, I mean, crystal soup.
She'll go and rehook it back on Sal.
But as you were talking, Vespasian enters, followed by Gratien, Estro, and Aran.
That worked out pretty well.
I would say so, Vespasian agrees. I am pleased to announce that the council has approved your request. We've been speaking with Director El Tol on the particulars, and we are mobilizing our manpower to install this soil restoration device of yours. If it works, we are excited for the possibilities it may bring. We know that Ishgard was never the most fertile of lands, but even regaining some of that would be wonderful.
Oh no.
Do you know if this does anything about the Stilled Rose? And, so who would know? Copycat, you will know. Nakhira, you will probably know. Guffin, I'm not sure if you would know.
Should I roll something?
I'm gonna let Guffin roll, and I'm gonna let... Temis, did you ever leave the Iron City?
Yeah, she was out on expeditions all the time.
Did
all
you go
over
to
the
other
place,
cities,
anywhere
though?
she could. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. in
So yeah, Temis would
exchanges.
know.
Yeah.
So Guffin, I'm gonna let you roll to not be oblivious to this.
Okay, I was gonna say with Guffin having touched the machine and like knowing how it works, would that do anything, or just sort of keep him on par with everyone else?
Well, we'll see how that goes when I
Okay.
see your roll.
What are we rolling?
Go ahead and roll resolve. I'll let you do.
I rolled a butt.
So 1, so an 8. So Guffin, you've not heard of this. The rest
Guffin's
of you know.
distracted by food.
So the rest of you know that the Stilled Rose is an affliction that has shown up in those who survived and those who were born in the wake of Black Rose. Those afflicted by Stilled Rose are heavily etherically imbalanced towards stasis. They age slowly, although they do not have extended lifespans, and they don't really like they act as if under kind of a haze of depression. They often find their movements slow and dulled. There's a distinct danger of those afflicted with the Stilled Rose where they will just kind of stop and just lay down and eventually just die because they don't have desire or urgent need to even eat or sleep or anything like that. The bodies left behind also do not decompose at a normal rate, so the body of a Stilled Rose person could lie unattended for quite some time and appear as if they are simply sleeping.
Liana, it has just dawned on me. Did they all die before they figured out how to reverse tempering?
Yes.
The Black
Yes.
Rose. Oh my god! It's like Porxies weren't invented in this timeline.
Correct. That is
Oh my
correct.
gosh! Wow.
Yeah, so as far as they know, the only solution to a tempering is humane euthanization.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oy.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
These are real dark ages right here.
It was a journey to watch the like realization and panic pass over your face. What does she have to say? I have to know.
Right.
It sounds so silly because, like, with the Black Rose timeline, I've always thought about the fact that, like, oh, it's really sad. The Warriors of Light die and all these things. And, like, oh, sure, like, what happens to the world? And we know the Ironworks did this thing. But I had, like, forgotten that the Black Rose timeline, it's been a while since this was established in game. So, like, all the stuff that's happened, all the good the Warrior of Light or, like, the Scions have done since then, like, just didn't happen here.
If you think
So,
about
like,
it, though, this timeline, sending the Crystal Tower on that mission, is the reason that tempering was cured.
Yeah, they found the solution because of it.
Ooh.
Bonkers. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Guys,
Okay,
we
sorry.
we just like chose hard
No,
mode,
you're
you
fine.
know? This
I have my
timeline.
revelations. Like,
See, Hal, we did something really cool. It was us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we don't know that yet.
we did that,
Still
but
mad.
we don't get to see the fruits of our labor in that regard. Just,
fine.
You know.
us, the new Warriors
Yeah,
of Light,
yeah.
totally did that. We can take credit for that.
Thank
Totally,
you.
100%.
I mean, you're welcome. You're welcome. We did that. Enjoy that.
Unfortunately, not here, not now, so people are still dying a lot. So.
Yeah.
But yeah,
please continue,
no
Anna.
cure for tempering, and thus no cure for the Stilled Rose. So Guffin doesn't seem to know what they're talking about, but you all know that they're asking if there's a way to cure this affliction with these devices.
Oh, Copycat's shoulders kind of slump a little. And he kind of looks to the rest of the group and looks to Guffin, and then he looks back to Vespasian and he says, I'm afraid that's not what it's for. Not originally. But who knows what the positive outcomes may be in the long term. It waits to be seen.
If it was described to Guffin what this thing is, would he possibly know, or is that just a no?
Entirely possible,
Yeah, Guffin should ask.
So what is What is this thing we're talking about?
Okay, so actually it sounds more like, so what is this thing we're talking about? Because he's like shoved a cupcake half in his face.
Everybody looks really sad, so what's going on?
Well, Copycat will turn to Guffin and kind of give a loose TLDR of what was explained. Like, in that it came about because of the Black Rose as one of the other far-reaching effects temporally of the stilling of the land, and it resulted in a lot of etheric imbalances in certain individuals. It wasn't really determined what made people more susceptible than others to it. It was just a widely prevalent phenomena that has no cure currently.
So from this, Guffin, I'm just going to give this to you because you have fully analyzed with your echo the effects of the machine. You can extrapolate that in a generation or two, the numbers may start to decline as the world is healed, but it will probably take some time to stop new births from having a chance of being born with stilled rose. That said, for those already afflicted, the device will do nothing for them.
So, this thing is made for ground. It's not made for people. That's all made from aether and everything. I don't really know how that part works, but it's not gonna work on people themselves. However, if we can clear up all of the dirt, eventually all of the leftover Black Rose magic nonsense that's happening to people who happen to live in the area around the dirt will not have that thing affecting them anymore. So, maybe your grandchildren will be affected. Which isn't great to tell you another story.
Honestly, though, Gratien and Vespasian both look pretty relieved at this. So, even in a generation or two, that this affliction might disappear is more than we could have ever have hoped.
At least we are not empty-handed for those generations who come after us.
I am loving the optimism today, everybody. Real good.
Great, well, let me bring it down a notch.
No!
Nakhira kind of...
Guffin flies over quickly with a cupcake, like...
Want a cupcake? Yeah.
Nakhira goes, I already looked at them. They do look very good. It's a good technique on the icing. But, and she turns back to Gratien. She says, this is undeniably a good thing, and I am relieved that you would acknowledge it as such, when historically Ishgard has not always, shall we say, been the most open to reason. But at the same time, since my unfortunate return back to this, well, God's damned place, if I'm being completely honest.
We're working on that, Gratien expresses very enthusiastically.
I know, Gratien, I know. But there are still deeper rifts you have to handle. The land will hopefully heal. Being able to have stability, have food,
it
not
will.
be fighting over resources. Thank you. Yes, he's an expert, he knows. It's something that will definitely provide a better basis, but you have rifts that run deeper than that. My own family was driven from these lands after they thought they had found a home because of the warfare that still to this day continues. You
Not cool.
are... No, it's not. And she turns to Gratien and says, you yourself know what it was to be born into this system and to suffer for it. Ugh. The man we fought today, terrible though he was, awful, definitely should have killed him sooner. At the same time, he himself was a product of this same shit. So, if you're going to heal Ishgard, it's more than just the land. You have to start coming together. You have to start addressing the social inequalities. Look, usually I would just be serving you some food, we would eat it, hopefully we would be a little bit happier afterwards, but it's going to take more than that in this situation. So, although you might seek out fellow insurgents, you have to do more than that, because clearly, those raised here are all still suffering generations down the line.
Gratien and Vespasian both take this in quite gravely, and Vespasian will actually step forward. We certainly understand, Lady Nakhira. We know that the road before us is long and treacherous, but it is one that we in the Revolutionary Army are prepared to walk. On that note, I happen to have some letters for you. He pulls 2 letters from his doublet. The first is from the Iron City. It appears that they have received a communication from Manderville. And then the second is one that I would have you bear to Manderville upon the completion of your quest. There are people we had hoped to return to us, especially with the situation with House Durandar. I know you did not choose to visit them, and probably for the best. But that family, in fact, suffered a rift much like yours, and much like your own. They too have driven out rightful members of their house, and we hope to see them return. There's a family that dwells in Manderville. They, like Gratien, are half Elysian. They go by the name Gorgane. They are descended of the former lord of House Durandar. He had taken up as a pirate of Limsa, but when the pirate lord solidified his power in the city, he returned to Ishgard with a... he's searching for the right way to put it. A bit of a rough Huron woman who he had taken as his bride. He and his father worked tirelessly to establish that, but eventually his descendants were usurped by the branch families of Durandar, who wanted to return to traditionalism and balked at the expenditure of the house's coffers that they say led it to ruin. We are not currently able to touch Durandar, but our hope is that with the aid of the Gorgane family, we might be able to end the final vestiges of the church and nobility rule that still plagues Ishgard. If you are willing to bear this letter, we would appreciate it, but I will not demand it of you. Additionally, and he passes the second letter on. This letter is more relevant. I did not read it, but I've been asked to present it to you, as it has some business in the direction that you are going. But to that, I leave to you.
What direction are we going?
Elto says, El Amigo, by way of Lost Gridania.
Oh, okay, I remembered the Gridania part. That's right.
Well, it
Hey,
just keeps
Temis.
getting better.
Are you alright? You had one of them echoes. You got any tea? Did you need some tea? Are you okay?
I'm fine. I just... She's looking at the lordling, and she's like, you say that you admired the Warrior of Light, the real Warrior of Light. But when they were here, it is my understanding that they wanted to abolish the lordlings, the hereditary peerages, the divisiveness of birthright, and they wanted to have a merit-based society. And yet you cling to the titles.
The Vespasian kind of...
And she looks annoyed.
Yeah. Vespasian kind of chuckles. That was indeed the intention, and had the Warrior of Light lived, we might be in a much better situation than we are today. Helionart is firm supporters of the revolution and always has been. Even in the time of the Warrior of Light, we worked hand in hand with the common folk. We armed them. We gave them weaponry and means to defend themselves. We hold this title because it still meant something, but it has ever been our house's aim that in honor of our departed lord who gave his life in the Gimlet Dark. Our goal is to abolish even our own title when it no longer becomes necessary. He laughs a bit. If you have occasion, you might visit my brother in the Skysteel Manufactory. You will see what a true heir to House Hallionard is like. I believe Guffin will appreciate him.
Yeah, what? Is that a place we can go?
Elto kind of thinks it over, and she says, it should take about a day to install the machine, so I would say you should feel free to wander about the city if you would like.
Don't you need my help for that? Installing the thing?
Oh no, we have other engineers who can handle it, but I mean, if you really want to, you could. I'm going to give you a warning right now that this would take Guffin out of the adventure, if he were to go and spend the day installing it, so, I'd prefer that not happen, because I want you to be able to react to things, but,
Selfishly, I will not be helping with that. Thank you!
You have accomplished quite enough already. You do deserve a rest. Gratien pipes up too. There are actually a number of places I would recommend you visit if you have the time. The Risen Song Quarter in the Firmament holds St. Charlement's Hospital, where the Stilled Rose victims are held. If you would like, you could visit that to witness the affliction for yourself if you need to. St. Charlement's is named for one of the great lords of House Durandare, who helped build up an orphanage in the area and devoted the rest of his life to service. You might also, if you would like, lead the visit to the Sea of Clouds. Viscount Lorien Vali has promised supplies for the saviors of Ishgard, so we will ensure that you are properly stocked in food and rations for the rest of your journey. If you would like, you may visit them, and then of course you may visit the Skysteel Manufactory as well. Whatever you have time and inclination for, you are welcome to do.
Do you guys know there's an island in the Sea of Clouds that looks like Kumugo?
I did not.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
little known fact. And I
Have you
actually
been
don't know
there?
if it's little known fact, but it looks neat. Or maybe I just am partial.
Well, if you are interested in this manufacturing, Guffin,
Yeah.
you should go there. And
Hell
then
yeah!
Maybe we pick up supplies. Does it seem like we have time for all three?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
This is free roam. You guys can go wherever you want.
Then yeah, we can stop off in the city in those places and go out to the Sea of Clouds.
And it would be much obliged if, in conclusion, we could go visit the St. Charlement's.
I mean, we don't have to go to the Sea of Clouds. I know what a Moogle looks like. I don't need to look at an island that looks like one. But if you guys want to, that's fine with me.
Guffin, although I would like to see the Moogle Island, the Sea of Clouds is also the main source of food and rations for most of this region, so if it's all the same, I'm sure Temis and I at least would be interested to make sure that the crops are still growing well.
You know what?
Most
That
definitely.
makes way more sense.
But if we see the big Moogle Island, I would love to. I'd love to be seeing that. And
You make it sound very enticing.
Sal he seems very excited. He's kind of like wiggling.
So they grow stuff in the sky.
They do.
Ah, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Yeah,
I
Gratien.
assumed that Nakhira knew this, but I think
Yeah.
we established that she did. Yeah.
Yeah, she does. Gratien interjects. We do. That is due to their elevation, the Sea of Clouds avoided a lot of black rose, which, as I understand, dispersed mostly among the ground and thinned the higher it got. So a lot of the Sea of Clouds remains arable. That is what we consider to be the breadbasket of Ishgard. The Viscount is a titled Vanu who oversees all of the farming operations.
I don't know why.
given
but that was
honor
adorable
title
to
due
me.
to her service.
I also love the idea of a title
Banu.
Banu. Yeah. Like in a little jacket with a little cravat.
Has to have a Monica. Has to.
Sorry.
I mean, that's cool. If you guys want to go see that, that's fine with me.
I would ask the hospital. Is it anywhere near? I don't know. Someplace I could be useful. Is there a large-scale place for feeding of the people, for those impoverished, or
Look for a soup
someplace that you
kitchen.
might? A soup kitchen. Yes. Is that what they call it here? Soup kitchen.
The hospital is built out of a former orphanage, which is still active. There are still orphans held there.
How do we
and it
make
is in
this
the-
building the most depressing?
It's full of orphans. It's full of dying people that are tempered.
The Risen Song Quarter is generally a place that has been built out to be devoted to health and wellness. The hospital campus itself is quite large, in addition to some of the orphanage and other community services it gives. There are many larger eating halls within it. The Risen Song has honestly become like unto a city itself in the complexity of its operations. And as it is in the firmament, it is connected to the Imperium housing districts. So a lot of people live in the area. Honestly, it is quite a lovely place. Although the Imperium has suffered greatly under the violence, it is still where a lot of Ishgardians now call their home. It was
Now,
built with the contributions of the Warrior of Light himself. So we do our best to maintain it as best as we can, for it is where our common folk live.
now, Nakhira. Altold just told me I wasn't allowed to be responsible tomorrow. So, you should also keep that in mind. While it would be super nice to help out and cook for all these people who are very much in need, maybe also be a little bit selfish too.
I suppose. But I mean, how else am I going to get the real work done? She says as if they didn't just defeat a primal. Listen, I'm just saying, I'm not very good at the bandaging, the helping. I can't use my eyes to look and see the ether like Temis can or Hel can. I can't do a funny little show to make the children laugh, but I can cook for them. So if I can go, make the food good, then it will help.
Copycat leans in to speak to Guffin and says, "Joy takes many forms, shapes, and sizes, and sometimes comes in the form and shape of earnest work."
I'm just saying, if I'm not allowed to work, she should not also do it
I
too.
understand. Yes. Your work is different than mine.
Yes.
But, yes.
Don't feel
guess.
pressured, Guffin, please. Frolic, it gives us joy to see you with joy.
I guess.
I mean, you could help, dear.
What?
Yes, you can help me in the kitchen. Good
Yes.
idea. She goes to slap Guffin's little back like you would companionably, but then realizes that her hand is as large as his whole back, and right before kind of stops and just bops in the back a little.
I mean, I suppose I could. I don't think you'd like it, if I'm being honest.
It's okay. I'm
Maybe
good
she'll
at
let you lick the
teaching.
spoon.
Is
That's
it
true.
helping?
You can taste. That's helping, yes.
Definitely.
I feel like you're fibbing to me a little, but I don't mind it.
We'll see how we pass the time, in essence, but all those sound good to me.
All right, where are you headed first?
What time is it? Because
It's fairly early. I would say it's about 10 a.m.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was my understanding they'd be going the next day. So this is still the same day?
I see. Yeah, no, when you are going to
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
oh, so we get a night's rest
yeah.
after the shenanigans.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to leave by like 10 a.m. It is what I should have said. I apologize.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll have the whole day
before we
to
leave the house,
just
though.
walk around Ishgard while all of the techs are installing the thing.
Is there anything that you want to do, Copycat?
Sorry, Temis, you good?
No, it's fine. I was just going to say, before we leave the house, I want to make sure that I corner the lordlings, who Temis has got a real bug up her ass about this. She looks at them, she goes, I really, I was listening to what you were saying about, if only the Warrior of Light had survived, that you could have done something, and you deciding to give your agency over to them is one thing that I'm sure that my mother would have something to say about. But what I would say is, perhaps if you could stop referring to the population as commoners and you as lordlings, the separation would be, less difficult to bridge. Just from, a commoner. And I'm gonna stomp my little ass off up to bed.
There's definitely some sweating and some acquiescence.
Night,
That's
Temis.
You're saying this to Gratienne, right? The boy
Yeah,
who was until
the
recently
puppy.
a commoner and was given
Well, so, yeah.
this
It's super
by the
important.
Revolutionary Army. Yeah,
Yeah.
he ain't
but it's
arguing
super
with you,
important.
but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was to the lordlings as a group, because we're in somebody else's house right now. aren't we?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vespasian's just amused by this whole thing, but like Gratienne is very like yes, a warrior of light, we shall do as you say.
Yes, he will do this thing.
Copycat,
But-
if that is your real name.
It's not.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to do while we're here?
Oh, just by the end of the day, perhaps dropping by the hospital for a tick. But beyond that, I'm quite excited to join you on your adventures this day.
Alright. Is there not like a theater or something here you wanna...
The Lord's not nearby, right? No one's nearby, or is he just standing there, smiling, T-posing?
We'll say this is, you guys are assembled at breakfast, so Gratienne and his boys are all kind of eating with you. It's a hearty British breakfast, for better or for worse.
It's British in our French Ishgard?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I mean,
remember,
they all speak with British accents.
understand that the quality of food is significantly diminished.
Okay, well,
So
that's
yes.
just rude to British cuisine.
You
Okay.
bastards. You absolute bastards, okay?
Yeah.
Our national dish is a curry. Fuck you all, okay?
I happen to
Yeah.
love
Saying.
British
Just
food.
saying.
I'm not gonna. People give it a lot of crap, but I love a good English breakfast, and I love the mix of different regional foods and all sorts of stuff. So
Just
Never
understand
lived
that I'm
until
going
you
to
had
let
Yorkshire pudding.
I'm going
I'm
to
just
let
saying.
the curry comment slide, but I am Southeast Asian and I have certain solidarity with colonized people. So
Oh, no, British Empire, terrible. But we did use the spices, I promise we did.
They exist.
To answer Guffin's question, Copycat looks around at their present company and says, "It seems to me that we have quite the packed itinerary this day, and so I am quite content to simply join on the excursion as it currently stands."
You don't like Ishgardian theater?
It's not theater. He keeps eating his breakfast.
Fair enough.
Good.
But also, in their defense, it's not like they've had much time or resources to invest in the arts in the last 100 years. It's not their fault. Or
That's
it
true.
is kind of, but
Wow.
maybe ask again in 20 years.
I mean, maybe you could be the start of something, right? Oh, that's a no.
Let's survive Lost Gridania first, and then discuss our future investments.
I mean, I was planning on doing that anyway, so...
okay, good. I love the optimism. Yes.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Great minds. Eat your breakfast.
Temis is going to lean over and say, Hal, as she's eating her breakfast, is there anywhere you want to visit here? Is there anywhere that's piquing your interest?
All of the above, really. I haven't been here for a while, and I'd like to journal to clear my mind. So, I'll just follow along.
Journal?
Yes.
Yes, he writes in a book about things that happen.
How
I mean, I
easily you make
understand-
light of his hobbies.
I understand the concept.
Mm-hmm.
What does it do for you? Like, how bad's your memory? Is it for memory sake, or what's it for?
To review and see
Memory.
what I could have been and what I was.
What? Wait, what? What could have been?
It's kind of a review. What I did, how I thought, and how I think about it later on. Sometimes those are very different.
Alright, that makes sense. That's interesting.
Yes, he's quite analytical, isn't he?
Eh.
I say from next to Hal at Guffin.
Yeah.
Have you found that actually works?
Up until about a week ago, yes.
I'd like to see your journal entries about all of this that has happened. What do you think about it all, huh?
Yeah, read us an excerpt.
That is an invasion of privacy.
Hal looks over
Please?
at Copycat for the first time, going, "Yes, absolutely." I mean, not really. Well, I can tell you that since the tower's disappearance, it has been a little,
Grumpy?
what did you call me? Grumpy, yes. So I don't know if that would be as illuminating as you want it to be. But we can talk about it if you'd like.
Sure.
Might
Sure.
be cathartic.
Sure,
What's that
well,
called? Therapy?
I guess this is my own sort of self-therapy. I think that the most important thing, if you do read,
I'll read.
is to understand that this is from a point of view that you might not be familiar with. So he goes through kind of the that first fight with the animals and all that. So from his point of view, you know, it is an analytical kind of tactical view of the battle and what he did and what he should not have done, and what might help in the future. He's written down all of you and what you did then and how he might help you be better at whatever it is you do or work with it. So it's not really like I did this and then that. It's kind of a bullet point list of the things that happen that'll turn into a journal eventually, which is why he takes his time when we're going around to kind of turn it from notes into journal. If we go back before then, I think you'll catch on one of the pages just scribbles about the tower, and one of the big like underlined. They wanted me inside the tent pissing out instead of the opposite. Just talking about when he joined and helped them, even though he didn't want to help them do the tower. Yeah. Right. They didn't want him pissing inside the tent from outside anymore. They wanted him inside the tent pissing out. So, just kind of unstructured notes for the last few weeks. Yeah.
Does the
No
barrier
mention of
come
a
up?
warrior of light. What was that?
Does the barrier
yes.
come up that he got
The-
yelled at about?
Yes, the barrier comes up that he got yelled at about. It does mention finding a way to at least shape it so friends could get around. And also being tossed through the air. Was a good idea, bad outcome. That's all it says about it. Good idea, bad outcome.
And yet, there's pointedly not a mention about this Warrior of Light business.
Absolutely none.
Oh, Nakhira, mid-bite, she's already eaten through one plate. She's given some thoughts for the chefs as well. Some of the, food was not perfectly cooked, which is fine. Everybody makes mistakes. And she's on her next plate. Not that she was rude about it. I want to be clear. It was more friendly. But
remember, Gratien has 2 people, so this is Estro who cooked everything.
Wait, he makes Estro cook it?
Of the 3 of these guys, Estro is the best cook.
They don't have, dedicated chefs at
He
the house?
He has 2 people.
He
That's
has
it
no
so far.
other
That's it.
servants?
That's
Yeah,
it.
it's just the 2
God.
guys.
Okay, in this case, Nakhira was trying to help this poor man. She's gonna give any and all basic cooking tips that she can after he has consented. Hopefully he has consented to this.
Which, yeah, he's happy to,
Okay, great.
Basically, they're 2 of his war buddies who joined his house. So, ostensibly they're his servants, but they're also his best friends. Place
You
as
have
many
really good friends and
asterisks upon
roommates
that
here.
you would like, yes.
And they were roommates.
They were roommates. Okay, great. Well, yeah, Nakhira struck up some banter with him, kind of got some of this, has been giving him some tips. Now that she's settled, she's sat down, she's eating more.
The alternative would be Aron or Gratien cooking, so just
My
understand
lord,
this.
I thought they had a whole staff. How
No.
are they keeping this mansion clean? All right, so she's taking a bite, and she looks at Hal, and she kind of raises one brow at him and goes, "You put all that in there. And by the way, helpful notes about the battle. I'll keep it in mind next time. But you did not mention the Warrior of Light. You don't want to be a hero."
I do. I don't want to be a fable.
What's the difference?
One is real, you can see, you can experience. Another is an idea. And unfortunately, some ideas lead to worship, overestimation. I find it better to deal in absolute reality. We are blessed, yes. I see where you're going with this. Yes, I do believe that there is a blessing that we have. I've seen it. But I don't believe that we alone are the saviors of the world. It requires the world. And as you've seen here, once a title gets involved, reason goes out the window. So does any self-determinism. I think that's very dangerous.
So what you're saying is there's a sliding scale.
I think so. Kind of is in thought about that one. But it isn't to say that I don't believe that we are doing the right thing.
It's true. Let people decide what they want to call you. I understand. At the same time, all we can do is just be ourselves, I suppose. Do what we feel is right. I don't particularly like the idea of being heroes myself, but it is funny to me how much you seem to avoid letting anything like that stick.
It's... when it sticks, people tend to throw away all reasoning. The tower weighs heavily on my mind, and always has. Who knows what else we could have learned from it? And now we won't. It may have helped someone, somehow, but it could have helped us here. Our time, right now, is the time of the people that we know and we love, right? The time that created us. Our time right now is also the time of the people we will know and will love. That next generation. We're right in the middle. And he kind of scrolls back in his pages and he underlines the handshake of generations. And he says, I don't want our other hand to be empty. And it is right now. maybe not. Maybe these devices will help, but we had the knowledge of generations and we let it go.
I disagree.
How so?
Well, I think we got everything that we needed out of the tower. I think there are records, of course, of all the stuff we were able to glean from it. And as far as the ultimate purpose of it, we couldn't make any other use of it, really.
Guffin, could you give me a knowledge check real quick?
Sure.
Then it's gonna be like, you passed. Yeah, there was so much more you could have gotten. You just sent that off to another timeline to save some random
Yeah, you like
person
really
who will
fucked
never
up,
help your
actually.
world.
Yeah, and I'll let you do resolve for this.
Damned future generations.
Yeah.
One after one after one.
Oh no.
Wow.
All right, go ahead and keep talking. I'm not going to give you anything else.
Yeah!
Well, to that, Hal will say, we're not certain of that. I do know that, once again, there were generations of study, but we only found out, well, forgive me, I don't know the details, because inside of the tent pissing out does not mean in the inner council. I don't know how it worked, or what it really was meant to do. All I know is it's gone. And we could have used it in some way. There's no way that it had no value left. Now maybe it has more value in doing whatever was done. But I can't see it. I can't feel it. I can't
Hear
experience
it or think it.
So while I understand and have, what else can I do? It has happened. But I don't have to feel good about it.
I mean, I guess,
my
but
prerogative.
you're also shooting yourself in the foot that way.
I don't think so. I think now, because of it, I'm more aware of what we can do now. In its way.
That's what I'm saying. You're more aware of what we can do now that it is gone. If you are worried about the fact that we sent it away, about what we might have lost by sending it away, you're shooting yourself in the foot. If, on the other hand, it is making you more aware of what you can do, other places you might search for that same information, for example, it's serving a purpose that way too. Being worried that it's gone is just bumming you out.
I see where you're coming from, and I do agree. Bummed out is maybe not the way that I would put it, but I think that as we continue to help the world, I will feel differently. It's just, it's a pretty big hole that we have no way to fill just yet.
You're both seeing things from your own perspective, right? I mean, I can understand Hal. We spent a lot of time doing the things for the tower. Now, I was not a part of it, Guffin, though. You were deep in there. And for what? To save a world that we will never see saved. But at the same time, Guffin, you are also right. What is the tower? It's a huge thing. Sure, technology, but is the tower the people? Is the tower everything that our world was? It was a thing left behind by people, sure. Maybe great power, sure. But as we saw today, there's stuff left behind with great power everywhere. And like you yourself said, Hal, if anything is to change, it is up to all of us. Every one of us. Not just us, but us. So, we do what we do, you know? We pass on what we can. I don't have anyone who passed the tower to me and said, here you go, that's yours, you can use it. But my mother passed recipes to me. Those few that are left, I pass them on. And that is what we have in our hands to continue passing forward. It's whatever we grab right here and right now. Not some magic rock that might maybe change time. We are the ones who make time, I guess. And we will see what we can make of what time we have left.
And as far as the Crystal Tower, that balloon animal's already popped. We can only manage what we have now and make the best we can with the situation moving forward.
also don't think it is a coincidence that mere moments, not mere moments, it was like several hours, maybe almost a day, after we sent the tower away, we get a big dragon showing up who's been asleep for who freaking knows how long. That is not coincidence.
It is not, and I do wonder if it's out of pure surprise that we could be so stupid, or if...
I think if that was the case, he would have told us, don't you?
Maybe. He is rather brusque.
Temis, what were you going to say?
Well, the way I see it, all that technology, all that knowledge helped the people of Aleg not to one bit because they fell. We're not them.
Mm-hmm.
If their vaunted technology and knowledge was so good, so advanced, then they would have had a consistent empire that's stretched to time immemorial, and that is not the case. And I would also say that as much as we shaped ourselves to manipulate the tower's knowledge for a great hope, it also shaped us. It also taught us things that did not go with it, things that did not disappear when it disappeared. All the knowledge that Guffin has. You know? All the knowledge, all the organizational skills, all the systems that we built up in the city to support it. Now they are free to do other things, if they so choose. And hopefully the machine to balance the etheric nature of the soil is only the start of this. I mean, that's something that we've been trying to do at St. Modes for a very long time because, as I said before, plants need very specific etheric as well as chemical conditions to grow. And we've often thought, as we've been trying to grow them and reproduce them and hybridize them so that they can survive in the soils that we do have, we've been trying, and that we've had medics in, trying to see if they can manipulate that for the stilled, for the rose afflicted, you know? And look, as much as I distrust the bureaucracy, my God, it can move mountains. So
Towers even.
yeah, well, yeah.
So
I don't think that we've lost as much as you think that we might have.
These are all fair points, and I thank you for talking with me about this. This has weighed heavily on my mind. I don't object to the change, I just object to pretending it doesn't cost anything.
I don't think any of us feel that way.
Oh, definitely not.
Hal just stays quiet after that one.
I'm Guffin and I'm brazen and say whatever I want. Ha ha ha.
Did you guys want to move on then?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
All right, so where are we headed first?
I would say the
Sea of
Sky
Clouds.
Steel
manufactory.
Manufactory.
Yeah.
So as you approach the Sky Steel Manufactory, there is a large boom, not as loud as the one that hit the prison, and also this one is completely ignored by everyone on the street. So as you walk in, you see a young man. He is definitely older than, but looks similar to Vespasian. You know, he's kind of got lighter hair, you know, very, very proper looking Elizin, but his face is covered in soot. And he is holding half of an exploded pipe. And he's kind of just examining it like, that wasn't supposed to happen, is kind of what his expression states.
Can I do a roll to see what he's holding on to, or would I just...
Yeah, absolutely.
What I roll? Like intuition or?
Resolve is fine. You can generally use resolve for your kind of gut check for machinery, because you're not an intuition-based machinist, you're a resolve-based machinist.
Okay.
It looks like it was a extension barrel for a machinist arm.
Okay. Well, Govin probably doesn't have a whole lot of knowledge there, so he can't swoop in with the, oh, you know that you did this wrong, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like an experimental part. for like a gun or a tool or something like that.
What's exploding?
Yes, I had heard you were coming. Welcome. This is a longer barrel for our Bioblaster tool. It is a wonderful, lovely item that can spray poison in large areas and directions. Very staple for our machinists, you understand.
Poison? What for?
For poisoning things. What else?
Fair enough. Silly question. My bad.
Anyway, he kind of wipes his face. It is lovely to meet you. My name is Alde Halianart. I am the leader of the Skysteel Manufactory. A pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Hello, I am Guffin Gambrelli, which apparently you already knew. I'm really excited to be here. Can I get a tour? Actually, my friend should probably tell you who they are first, but then can I get a tour?
Absolutely.
Well, Hal will introduce himself.
Yeah.
He's just kind of floating behind, writing with everyone, now that you know why.
So, are you guys good? Do you guys want to do specific roleplay, or do you want to just move into the tour?
Nakhira's
It's
just
fine.
like, Nakhira, Sal. And Sal's like,
I was like, copycat.
And I'm like, hey, Temis, Guffin, touch the pipe, see if you can figure out what it does.
Do you have any of that tea on hand?
He asked, but his
I'm
fingers
just
are
gonna-
already like,
yeah. I'll make some herbs for you. Go on, touch it.
Okay, so before you can touch the pipe, when you kind of step into the machinery, into the manufactory proper, you get a massive headache.
oh.
And you start analyzing every single thing
Ooh.
in this factory. I'm just gonna kind of summarize. So, there are general machinist arms in here that have been in development. You're actually noticing probably less than you thought you would, likely because the war is over. There's farming equipment. They seem to be new developments, a lot of machinery that looks to be purpose-built to help farm within the Sea of Clouds. So, things that are looking at like weight reduction to be able to ship them from the airships over to the Sea of Clouds. A lot of like plowing, furrowing, planting, things like that. You also get a hint of some new crafts that look like they might be designed to cultivate terrestrially in the area in anticipation of the device, which is now known to House Helianart. And also you just get an enormous headache because you just analyzed everything in here.
Amazing. So Guffin starts to flit into the shop with the intent of getting his little fingies on this exploded pipe, and the bunch of you just see him kind of flump onto his butt. Sit there for a second.
This is very cool and also very terrible.
Is there anything?
Yeah, Temis is
Go ahead.
grabbing herbs and she's like shaking about, oh goodness, here.
Well, I thought I had to touch the thing, but I guess I just need to be in close proximity.
Oof.
Kind of waddles up to his feet. Doesn't bother to get back in the air. Big headache. Ooh, big headache. Looks very, very woozily over to Mr. What was it? Alde Halianart, and says,
Got a bunch of cool stuff here.
and then he points to like one of the new inventions.
Did you start that yesterday?
Yes, we did. As soon as my brother informed us of the approval of the device, we immediately set to work.
That is very impressive.
Is there I don't want to like fiddle with what you have planned too much, but like, could Guffin, if there was maybe a flaw in the design that they had put together, since he knows how the other thing works, just
But this part right here is not going to work because the flux capacitor on the other thingy works this way instead. So you might want to flip that switch this way, and then it'll,
He's kind of looking at us like, oh, that's why it blew up. Excellent.
You've blown
We
up
appreciate
multiple
your
things
aid, Master
today.
Guffin.
Oh my goodness.
Occupational hazard. I'm sure you understand as a fellow machinist.
I mean, yeah, but also...
I feel like Guffin doesn't blow up as much stuff. Probably still blows up stuff, though.
The Ishgardians are fond of their gunpowder and other items, so,
Why is there this chamber of gunpowder in here, though? That doesn't do anything.
It's for, we ignite it for extra propulsion. Which you do kind of see is, like, the setup with the gunpowder is designed to ignite for auxiliary power to give it an extra boost if it's getting through hard to... the device in question is a furrowing, so like if it hits rocks or something, they can ignite the gunpowder to just kind of blast through it.
He's just gonna go,
That is a choice.
so yeah.
But yeah, he gives you a tour of the area. He's kind of talks about it. So you will all get to see sort of like the new inventions that they're working on. The staff is all very positive about the upcoming soil restoration, so they want to get a head start on cultivation and finding ways to make food even in the climate that they have.
I think Nakhira doesn't understand all this stuff, but looking at the machines that they're doing for those, she kind of looks to Guffin and to Temis and says, with what they've already been developing back in the Iron City, is there any help you can offer them so that hopefully it doesn't explode as much with these particular devices?
Guffin, I will give you these two things. One, they could make it explode less if they altered their fundamental design, but the fundamental design has a certain personality to it that may be a difficult road to travel, i.e. they discovered gunpowder and are very fond of its application.
Even in farming?
Beyond that, though, the technology here is different because it's built for the terrain. What is used in the Iron City doesn't have to be as hardy or as explosive because it's not blighted soil and it's not perpetual winter.
Is this something though that like Temis and Guffin would have insights into, like especially Temis, who's been helping them with like helping try to develop all these strains of plants and things, like something that would help give them a leg up in their development of these things as they try to now cultivate soil that might be
Temis, I will request a knowledge roll on to see if she has any insights she might be able to share. We'll do. Wow. Okay. So Temis, you have some knowledge. 17. So that's a 10 on the die.
All the knowledge.
So Temis, you are actually familiar with some. You probably at the time didn't quite understand why, but you do know that the Arboretum has been cultivating plants designed for climates outside of the Arboretum. And there are some cold weather saplings that you had a hand in kind of the experimentation and the development of. So you do know that there are some plants in the Iron City that seem to have been developed for areas like this. And you do actually, from your observation, you do see a certain point behind some of the gunpowder propulsion in the technology, because from the lands you are looking at, with the ground being frozen and harder, like, it, to you at least, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'll say that. I'll say, well, I mean, so my specialization is more not the technical side of the machinery, but certainly the seeds and things, and as a person who has tried to break hard ground in winter climes, it's certainly quite challenging, and a bit of oomph might help quite a lot. But I would say I would be happy to discuss, although perhaps arrangements have already been made with St. Mo's. I would be interested to see the stores where your seeds are and what you're planning to, and if you have any seedlings here. It might actually be an idea to store the seeds not in a place that has been affected by the rose, long term as well. I mean, but I'm sure this is common knowledge here.
Yeah, they kind of talk through. So basically, a lot of their seeds are stored in the seed clouds.
Yeah.
So, but they do mention that they kind of heard rumors that the Iron City is in talks to send something over. So they're just trying to prepare for that based on what they know now.
Oh, when are we leaving? Because do we know when the shipment is arriving? Because it might be accompanied by a researcher called Alessi Leia, and I would like to not be here when she arrives.
The shipment is expected in about a week, and you're leaving tomorrow.
That's good luck. Good luck. You'll need it. Yeah.
Is that your mum?
Yes.
Watch out, she might bite you.
Yes.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we have something for that. Pulls out, like, plated glove armor. You don't know why they have this. This looks like it was probably left over from the war, but good.
It's nice that
I
you're
just
so
pat him on the shoulder. You
prepared.
do well. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Honey tea
manufactory
is the only
prepared
thing I've ever
for
found to
everything.
calm her down. So.
Honey tea.
Good luck.
But yeah, beyond that though, you get a really good look at the technology and things like that. They're very happy to see you, but they're not necessarily too much more to do here. So for these are going to be kind of smaller vignettes of like you get to go to an area and see a few things. If you have discussion you want to have with the NPCs here, happy to facilitate that. Otherwise, we can move on. So kind of where is your head at for this?
Guffin just likes to learn stuff. Is there anything here he could learn, or is it just how to use gunpowder in ways that he could probably use something else better?
There are novel gunpowder applications that he is not certain he could do better, even if he stubbornly believes otherwise.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Noted.
Pretty cool. Strong takeaway.
That's about it. Just trying to have the little guy learn some stuff. He likes to learn things.
Yeah. Guffin has come out of this, if nothing else, with a perhaps begrudging respect for the fact that sometimes the response actually is to blow it up.
I mean, I thought you're supposed to avoid exploding things, but like, it really did
Guffin.
work in that one thing. What? Meh?
Oh, nothing. I was gonna say Guffin gains the ability sabotage to grab anything on the field and explode it.
Yeah, it's a wide world.
If it's unexploded, that just means you haven't applied enough gunpowder to the solution.
That is what I learned today.
Where are we headed next then?
Probably the sea clouds.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So you take some kind of the mana cutters, I believe they're called, up to the Sea of Clouds, and you are led to meet with the Viscount Lorien Valley. She is a Vanu dressed in a full like Ishgardian
Bustle.
gown.
Yes!
Very refined looking, with a custom fan that fits in her feathered arm.
Amazing. Everything I wanted and more.
She greets you very graciously, and kind of as you are welcomed into the area, her farmers perform the traditional skydrop dance as a greeting. It's very impressive. Lorien will kind of give you a quick tour of the farming. A lot of the things they cultivate up here are actually intended for somewhat colder climes and higher elevations. It's actually quite chill up in the Sea of Clouds, due to elevation, winter, all of that. But a nice kind of tour of the farm area. The Vanu have been working these lands for generations now, and they've pretty well integrated. You can see that there's a difference between the Vanu and the Ishgardians. They're not as concerned with the politics. They're here to grow food, and so long as they are left to live and thrive, they're happy to share their bounty with the Ishgardians, especially since they benefit from some of the technology that the Ishgardians put together. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship, and the Viscount title has basically made them invulnerable. No one in Ishgard will stand against them because they bear this title and everything they have. So like even the Holy See has, when they were ascendant, stayed on their good side. So they're pretty much content to just do their thing. Nakhira, in particular, will, however, get the opportunity to oversee some of the transfer of food. So they're kind of preparing, and you'll note too that they have, just due to the colder climates, they have a decent preservation system, kind of using cold storage to maintain their foods. So you got a lot of hardier strains, some legumes and beans and things like that. But a lot of good, solid crops that you'll be able to utilize on your quest that are being prepared specifically for you to supply your caravan.
Nice. Nakhira's like thriving. The moment they got up there, she is like, it's like a total demeanor change. Like, she's been fine in Ishgard, but this is like where she really comes to life. She's like walking up and down the fields of the Vanu. She's like asking questions about the plants and this one and that one, and have they used it in any recipes, or was this something that they only started growing for the Ishgardians? And she's sampling. It's like watching a documentary about a chef when the chef takes you to like the farm that they get all their ingredients for their fancy restaurant from, and they're like strolling down the aisles of the
farm
like
to table.
Farmstead. Exactly, like farm to table. There's like these gorgeous shots of them amidst all of the plants. It's very much like that.
I'm also going to give you this. You do echo while you are here. And you feel the joyous passion for farming kind of wherever you go. So this echo is actually probably the least intrusive that anyone in the party has experienced. Where like, yeah, you get the headache, but like the farming high just kind of transfers itself to Nakhira as you are among your people.
She is feeling it. Like, if she's near, like, if there's a Vanu there that is, like, all about the development of pole beans that they've been doing, she wants to know, like, every single thing about those pole beans. Like, and she definitely, like, even with the headache, it doesn't even matter. That doesn't matter at all in lieu of this. And she, like, calls Temis over and is like, we don't have this one. This one's new, they were saying. Do you think we could transport it? Would it be something that would keep if we were to bring it back to Iron City?
I'll have a talk to the growers. I want to see their catalogs. I want to see if they've got any rare plants here. I haven't been to this climb before, so I'm really excited. They must have a catalog. I want to see their seed vault. This is so exciting. She's like, oh.
Yeah, and they do indeed have that. Also, which may or may not be of interest to some of the others, there is a large sky fishing contingent who are pulling fish from the Sea of Clouds, which is probably the main proteins in Ishgard. So lots of sky fishers.
as they're like doing all of this, she, I mean, again, it's like back and forth. She and Temis, I imagine, are, you know, deep into the like, what do we have? What seed vaults? What can be spared? What are you rationing? Like, they don't want to take, but there's also this excitement because it's so rare to be in a place that the Black Rose did not annihilate, and to like actually see verdant growth and things. And I think at one point as well, she has, you know, maybe a different strain of bean or something, and she snaps it, and it's crisp, and it's this green flavor. And she calls to Hal, and she says, Hal, come over here, try this one. And she offers it up.
So he looks up and he goes, what am I? So he'll just take, what is this?
A bean.
Okay. So he'll try it.
Temis will give the Latin name for it, or the whatever, the elegant name for it.
Right, probably.
And start talking about cultivation, like, a lot.
It does taste fresher than anything Hal's ever eaten before.
Huh. Wow. He's just kind of taken aback. So, the whole situation here, like, this has been going on for generations, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Vanu are all nodding emphatically, like this is their pride and joy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, hopefully, what we've done will give you more land to do this in.
Nakhira grins, and it's like the widest grin. Like, you can just see, like, even her sharp canines.
Yeah.
And she goes, you see? We're not so empty-handed after all, huh?
And I will say,
In
Guffin,
some
if
ways.
you want to, they will take you to go view the
Yes!
Google Island from above.
Yeah, listen, Copycat and Guffin, you know, they stop one of the farmers and just like, so the Moogle Island, whereabouts is that? Is it like 30 minutes walk? Like, how
Is
long
that
are
where
going
you
there?
keep the Kupo nuts?
Yeah, they do guide you to the Moogle Island. Unfortunately, the Moogle Island isn't especially suited for Kupo nuts. Those are grown in the in Mogholm. But you see it. You see it from above, so you get to see that it is a landmass that looks kind of like a Moogle because it's got a little outcrop that could be interpreted as a palm.
Yep, there it is. That's the pom-pom. See it? Mine's bigger.
Yeah.
Ratio-wise, of course, like, obviously, that rock is very large.
I would argue that Aor's Moogles kind of look like amorphous blobs to begin with, so I mean it's not coming as readily to. I believe you. It must look like a Moogle. If the Moogle is saying that.
Look there. See the like the straight
No,
part.
I see the part with the palm, but like,
Yeah.
what is the rest? Like,
What's it
what
got?
is
All
it?
his
Got a
little
leg?
ears right there. It's just his head. It's got no
That's
body.
Wow. Oh, okay, I see.
I'll see where you get
Just-
amorphous from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just squint a bit and turn your head to the side.
Yeah.
It's you can see it. Yeah.
It's got those fluffy pink glowy plant things on it. See this? See that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Another Latin name coming right now.
Yeah. What she said.
Great.
This is the Sansevieria Celestia. Yes, it's very good. Yes.
Those are very common in Mogholm, I'm told. So
See.
it's like double moogly.
Googly moogly.
Well, I
Well,
think we're done. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just gonna say. I mean, yeah. If there's, I guess, unless there are other scenes, I think Nakhira would just, with like everybody's collective help, try to see what some of the best or most invigorating ingredients that they could take or that would last. And also with this discussion with Temis, try to make sure that they could set up a little bit more like discussion of, you know, what food may be coming back and forth, or what support, you know, either the culinarians as well as like botanists, I assume, with Temis, like, and how St. Mo's could even be involved with helping support whatever comes next.
Yeah,
or
so-
the exchange of foods.
Basically, where they're at right now is the food they produce is solely for Ishgard, just due to its requirements. But they are very enthusiastic about a future state where, with more food available, they could actually start exporting. So you're able to get kind of a good tentative agreement of like, here are some seeds that you might be able to send back and forth. St. Mosien's does have some seeds that they think would be suitable for the Sea of Clouds, so there is some trade for that. And most importantly, though, you are stocked and laden with lots of fresh food from the Sea of Clouds that you will have to prepare for the caravan for the rest of your time. Also, if you want, they will teach you how to do the Skydrop dance.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think Nakhira might also ask if they, like, if any of the ingredients that they have are things that were, like, more traditionally cultivated by the Vanu. She might ask specifically if they have any recipes or to be shown, like, you know, like something where the ways that you would prepare those flavors or things like that, she could kind of learn.
Which she does get her hands on.
make a copy, it's
Absolutely,
fine.
yeah. They have some... the Vanu have taken on more written tradition of late because of their status as a Viscounty within the Ishgardian society. So they do write in kind of the Eorzean script now. You notice that they use pens that were developed actually by the Sky Seal Manufactory that are more suited to their kind of winged hands and claws than other pens that are more suited for, you know, human-esque hands. So, but yeah, they have lots of recipes. You're welcome to copy them down. Although they have a few copies, actually, I would say they can share, because otherwise you would be here all day. And
Nakhira will do that if she has to.
Sometime during the course of this being wrapped up, Guffin will very specifically make sure, like, he'll lean down next to one of the bean plants that they'd been talking about earlier, look Nakhira in the eye and say,
Do you think this has been a worthwhile trip?
Nakhira, like, pulls a face, but then can't help it, just like, wait to tell Sal that one. Tell Sal that one, Sal! And we'll call Sal, like, over. And Sal will come over and, like, crouch down.
joke repeated, of course.
Sal also finds it hilarious, but his laughter is more like a loud squonking kind of sound.
Squonk, appropriate for the area.
Yes. And then Sal will run and get Hal, but just grab him by the arm and drag him over.
I don't think he's gonna like it, but here goes.
Does the joke again. Like, really hams it up for Hal.
I mean, I think with the snowdrop dance and this, Hal's finally put his journal down. Finally.
Hal's actually having a good time.
Yeah, in some ways. That bean joke, no, absolutely. No.
I mean, it was the third time, right? It couldn't be as strong.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes. You can work on your delivery with Copycat. It was good, though. I liked it.
Are we moving on to the hospital then?
Yes.
So as soon as you step into the firmament, Hal, you get an echo. You start to see, and again, you embody this. So you see a person who could have been you kind of walking in, and you see it sort of in its nascent construction period. You kind of see over time, you also see yourself fishing a lot. Like, you see visions from the, like, fishing in the Sea of Clouds. Very odd. And you kind of, this caps along with a fully finished district and several posted boards, and you just, like, you see, kind of to cap this, yourself looking up, or like this person you're embodying looking up at a board with the Fisher symbol on it, and at the very top reads the name Meteor. And you feel this person's immense satisfaction.
When Hal recovers from that, he'll say, just kind of under his breath, when the best leader is done, the people say we did it ourselves. Because he saw a lot of the other work that presumably not this person was doing.
Yeah, you saw, like, adventurers, craftspeople, just, like, the sound of, like, synthesizing just permeates the entirety of this memory, or this echo.
Right. So, to the rest of the group, we'll just say, I feel we should tell each other when it does happen, whatever this is. I saw rebuilding here. It looks like there'll be even more. Seems to be a cycle.
Well, that's good, right? That's like promising, since we're trying to fix stuff. Yeah? How you feeling? Optimistic, I hope?
If I say yes,
I will leave you alone, yes.
I don't think I want that.
Oh, okay. Surprised?
This is the Cure House Depression Tour.
Yeah. Hey, this is the place where they're trying to do it, large scale.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That said, though, the hospital itself is a bit more of a somber affair. It's a large campus, and you're kind of quietly let in. A lot of the people here look young. Like, there are
The people in the beds.
20-year-old patients who are kind of moving around with kind of assistance and movement aids, but they look maybe half their age. Like a lot of very small people, just due to like stunted growth from the rose stillness, or the stilled rose, I should say. But interestingly, like it's quieter, but it's not oppressively like sad. A lot of these people have devices from the manufactory that they can use to assist with their mobility. There is an intention to make it lively. You can tell there are a lot of bright colors in the design of the hospital. Many of the patients are kind of part-time, where they might come in to get checked in, to have some of their, like some might be using prosthetics or other tools to assist them in being able to get around. But you do see people kind of come in and out just for checkups, and then for like the worst afflicted, the ones who are mostly bedridden, there are wheelchairs around, and you kind of see them get pushed around. So even within this, what you are seeing is defiance in the state of the sickness. It is intentionally a place that is designed to keep these people going and to keep the flame of their will alive, so that, you know, even as the rose stills their movement, they are able to move forward. And kind of as you step in, you are greeted by the head doctor. She is very clearly of common birth, another half Elezen, of which you have seen quite a few more as you stepped into the firmament. There's a lot more kind of people who are very clearly of multiple heritage. You know, she greets you very respectfully. She gives you a guided tour, kind of emphasizing the need for cleanliness in the area, just due to the fact that one of the things that's stunted is the immune systems, and some of the worst afflicted are very prone to illness. So they need they need a cleaner, more sterile environment, and she kind of talks about the treatments that they're undergoing, and it's fascinating, and it's not as sad as you believe that it would have been. There's life here. There's a perpetual struggle for existence in this place that you can tell no one from any of the patients to any of the doctors have actually given up.
Copycat has bought his instrument on this particular occasion, and goes out of his way to ask the doctor if it is okay, and with her consent, to perform for some of the individuals who are much further along, who can't really move very much, but that he has some musical talents he'd like to share with them.
They're actually quite grateful for this. Musical therapy is something that they are doing, so they take you to a room, you and the rest of your group, there's a piano, so one of the nurses offers to play accompaniment if you would prefer. And they kind of gather some of the afflicted, and then of course those who are more mobile just kind of make their way in on their own, and you are given a space to perform as you wish.
Copycat does not sit. He starts a tune, probably one that's more widely known and familiarly.
And remind us what your instrument is.
It is a lute.
Okay.
It is a lute, easy to follow the tune with. And
since I don't believe you whipped that thing out since episode 1, so I feel
yeah,
like
it's true. It was on the wagon, actually, that he also whipped it out. When we met the racist.
You're whipping it out.
Episode 2,
But yes, so he speaks in verse while going through this tune, saying things along the line of, "Spring waits for those who awake to a brighter day. I hope you're here to stay." And in a way, you can tell that he knows he's not going to cure these kids. That's not the point of what's happening here today. What's happening is that engaging them in a moment, a fraction of time where they aren't burdened by their affliction or more nuanced and sometimes painful thinking, the reality of their affliction, the fact that there is no cure, but more that there's still so much outside of it, as they no doubt know, and that the professionals here have gone so far out of their way to make sure that they know. And so Copycat strides between the beds, turns back to those who have joined the room, gets close, leans in, makes the tune more jaunty, encourages people to come and do little dances, but within their mobility, nothing super trying. And so long as kids are they're trying to muster smiles as much as they can, and time flies by. It really just soars in that instance. I feel like every one of his companions can see this is what Copycat does. This is his reason for being, much like Nakhira amidst the freshly grown produce, and Temis with the seed inventory and the information and the plants. This is Copycat stealing in hope.
And Copycat, you do notice your senses enhanced by the echo that you now possess. You too get a gentle echo, and you for the first time viscerally feel the delight of those around you. And you are able to tell with certainty for the first time in your life the impact that you are making.
That's
On
cool.
that lovely note, I think this is a wonderful place to cap off our Ishgardian adventures. I appreciate you guys sticking with me and letting us explore the city a bit. I wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to do other things besides violence in the city of Ishgard.
Yeah.
Great, good, yeah.
Well,
thanks.
violence and hang out with Gratien and his boys. So next week, or 2 weeks, yes, in 2 weeks, for episode 6, we will move on from Ishgard and begin the travels once again with our heroes. But thank you once again for joining us. Does anyone have any announcements that they would like to give before we depart from our adventure for the day?
If you haven't, or whenever it comes out, be sure to vote on the Final Fantasy XIV fan art competition, because one Dr. Griswold may or may not have a piece in there. We'll see, who knows, by the time that this goes live. But get in there when they're revealed. They'll be revealed for all of us too, but Gris did submit a little something, so.
Took me 50 hours. Please. Please.
It looks really cool.
Well, thank you.
And
if you'll be at... Oh, go ahead. I was
yes.
saying, if you'll be at NA Fan Fest, we'll be there
Yes,
too.
that was
So,
where I was going.
A lot of us.
Yes.
A lot of us.
Yeah, so NA Fan Fest should be around this time next month, if my timing is right on the episode. So yeah, I believe for next you are not at NA Fan Fest, but the rest of us are. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yep,
please
I
keep
shall
an
be
eye
there.
out for us. Come
A
say
great
hi
loss.
if you see us.
I know. What a miss
Yes.
you.
Such devastation.
Sneak you in.
Yeah.
Were you going to go to EU though for Nax, or? Because I know Rook will be.
I
at
am
EU.
hoping to.
Okay.
I am hoping to. Yeah, just to see Rook, just to bring her
Yeah.
Yorkshire pudding.
I don't care
for
about
the
anything
Fan
else I'm
Fest.
doing at EU Fan Fest. Not the PvP, nothing. I'm only there for
Yeah,
Fortnite.
it's honestly not even, the fan fest. You just happen to meet there, you know?
Yeah, FanFest, take it or leave it. Fornax, cannot leave it. Only take it. Love
Fornax
Fornax.
Fest.
Million hugs.
Yeah.
Fornax Fest.
There you go.
But yeah, so hopefully we'll see you at Fortnite. Hopefully we will see Fortnite.
Absolutely,
We'll see you at Fan Fest.
rebranding now.
And then I guess for me too, I'm next month. We should be starting a new season of Worlds of Inspiration, which I'm hoping if we could actually schedule time, Rook and I will have a few recordings, and we're so busy. And also I'm going to be nerding out with another British friend of mine about my favorite series ever. Because Ascendance of a Bookworm should be starting up very soon. And if you aren't watching Ascendance of a Bookworm, you have to, because I love the series to pieces, and I will
good.
spread the word everywhere.
Yes,
but
listen.
beyond that,
Listen to Liana's podcast. It's so good.
thank you. Beyond that, though, thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.